Today's world feels like a never-ending stream of new, buy. Okay, sorry. But seriously, we're constantly being marketed to, even while you're watching this video, because this video is sponsored by, well, no one, but YouTube will still run ads on it, all in an effort to get you to take money out of your bank account and put it into someone else's. Which is exactly how gaming feels these days. Every new console, every new graphics card, every new $70 or $80 game, every new handheld, it always feels like if you're not there at launch, you're missing out. And I get it, I really do. We want the new shiny thing, the new more powerful thing, or the new just about as powerful thing. Part of that's because we're constantly being promised that with this new thing, we'll unlock a new experience in gaming, one you certainly can't get anywhere else. And because of our own desires, our own fear of missing out on the new cool piece of tech, we're constantly in this mental state of want. We want to play the game when our friends are playing it, when the internet is talking about it, when it feels like a moment. And gaming is a great form of connecting. It helps me connect with my friends and it helps me connect with you guys. But here's the thing I've learned. You don't have to have the latest and greatest to build that connection, because it's not the love of a game that expires over time. It's just the hype that dies. A game that was amazing 10 years ago is still amazing today. And in a lot of cases, it might actually be better. It's probably cheaper, it might have DLC included, and it's patched.
Batches. We don't need no stinking batches.
Yeah, you really do. And yes, this mostly applies to single player games. Multiplayer games are the golden child of the new buy craze. They do exactly what every company wants their product to do. They pull you in at release because if you're not there on release day, good luck unlocking everything and leveling up and doing whatever stupid mechanic they built in to try to make the gameplay addictive enough for you to stick around for more than 4 weeks. And then when the next game launches, you're right where they want you, hooked to the dopamine hit, but needing a bigger dose, one they can supply for $69.99 unless you want it 2 days earlier for $99.99. And believe me, I've been there. I remember pre-ordering the limited edition of Bad Company 2 many moons ago, just for the perks, and I really love playing that game. So if multiplayer is your jam, then that's great. But I don't really play multiplayer games these days, which I think is good for both my sanity and my ears.
No!
I just love a good single player game. Sorry, EA. And you know what? I'm perfectly content not playing a single player game at launch. And I think that realization is what's helped save both my love of gaming and my wallet. Because when you stop trying to keep up, gaming gets a lot less stressful and a lot more fun. With all that's going on in the world, it's so easy to get wrapped up in what's coming out next or what's going on with the price of this or that. Spoiler alert, the price of this and that are both going up effective, well, yesterday. We live in a very strange time, and I don't mean this as like hyperbole or anything like that. It's not weird to think that electronic devices should get cheaper as they get older. I've seen so many people online either somehow trying to justify it or laying blame on the wrong thing. Sure, there's plenty of blame to go around right now, but the bottom line is tech companies aren't chasing gamers with limited budgets anymore. They're chasing AI companies with virtually unlimited budgets. So while you might scoff at paying $1,500 to go from 60 FPS to 120 FPS, they'll pay $5,000 to knock off 6 nanoseconds of render time. We're competing for finite resources, and the unfortunate truth is we're losing. But there is a solution, at least there was for me. It's the beauty of contentment. I think if we could all find a way to be content with what we have, we could be a lot happier. I'm sure many of you out there have amassed a backlog of games. I think at this point it's a natural consequence of gaming. You see a great deal online or in the store and you just have to pull the trigger. It's part of the problem, sure. Again, you have companies marketing to you, trying to convince you that you need the game, and maybe you really do want to play that game. I know I have a ton of games I really want to play. Some I've actually went out and bought, some I've actually even played, but many others I haven't, and others still I haven't bought. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't buy them. Just because you have a shelf full of games collecting dust instead of playtime doesn't mean you should never buy a game again. But maybe it's about being more intentional with our purchases. Buying a game just because it's on sale is not a good deal if you never play it. I'm talking to myself here as much as anyone because I just bought the Resident Evil Generation Pack. It was going away because Capcom, I guess, loved what Nintendo did with the Mario 3D All-Star Pack and said, yes, let's do that. Problem I have is that I really want to play the games, but I have this desire to play the other Resident Evil games before I get to them. I've played Resident Evil 1 Remake, RE2 Remake, RE3, and I started playing Resident Evil 4, but I stopped. Don't hate me. I want to go back and finish Resident Evil 4, play 5 and 6 because I just have this internal need to play every game in a series. And I know that that wouldn't be every game in the series, but look, I'm trying my best, okay? And once I do that, if I ever do that, then I'll play 7, Village, and hopefully one day get around to playing Requiem before it's remastered for the PS6. And while I really wish I could play Requiem now, and trust me, I totally understand that it's my own mental limitation stopping me. Like, yes, I could power on my Switch 2 and play Requiem right now. I really could. I'm also perfectly content not playing right now. By all accounts of what I've seen online, it's a great game, and in a year or so, when I get to it, guess what? It'll still be a great game. I can't go watching too many videos on it because, spoilers and all, but you know what? I've gotten pretty good at that. Because I've been playing older games for a long time now. I actually fell out of gaming for a while, and it was a great timing actually, because when I felt that pull back to the hobby I loved as a kid, it was toward the tail end of the Xbox One and PS4 era. And you know what was nice about that? The consoles were 6 years old and less than half of what they cost at launch. Imagine that. Look, I'm a frugal guy, and gaming wasn't my passion when those consoles first came out, so there was no way I was going to pay $500 for an Xbox One, but $200 on Black Friday for a 1S that came with the Master Chief Collection, yeah, that's nice. And then $200 the next Black Friday for a PS4 Slim with Spider-Man, they were cooking, okay? And the best thing about buying these consoles so late in their life cycle was that there was a ton of great games out, and a lot of them were dirt cheap. I got hours and hours of fantastic gaming out of them, and there's still a ton of games I haven't played on them yet. And even though I got back into gaming around the time the Switch released, I resisted buying one until 2020. I kept hoping for a price decrease, but little did I know that those were a thing of the past. And yes, I did buy a Switch 2 on release day, but the truth is, I probably didn't need to. There are still so many Switch games I have that I haven't played, and so many I don't have that I want to play. And truth be told, I was starting to get that itch to buy a PlayStation 5 because, well, I'm human and I want to play some of the new games that look amazing. Plus, the console's been out for 6 years. In my mind, it should be cheaper by now. This past Black Friday, the PS5 went on sale for $650, and I started thinking that's not too bad a price. Still a little high, but I was thinking if it goes on sale like that again, I might just pull the trigger. And then Sony decided 750 wasn't enough, and now it's 900, and my frugal ass is looking at my PS4 like, yeah, you know what? That's good enough. There's just absolutely no way I'm paying $900 for the latest and greatest console that's a slightly more powerful version of a 6-year-old console. That's just wild to say out loud, okay? Like, if my channel was doing great, I could maybe justify it. Even then, it'd be really hard. But hey, if you want to subscribe and help make it a bit of a harder decision, I won't be mad. But now that the PS5 is out of the picture, it gives me the opportunity to focus on the games and systems I have and not the ones I wish I had. When I said I like to play through games as a series, I wasn't lying. I've been playing through the God of War series, and I've played all the Greek games, and now I've finally gotten to the 2018 God of War game. I remember when this game came out, I remember the hype, the friend who bought a PS4 to play it. I remember buying the game a few years later and it sitting on my shelf waiting for me to play through all the others and finally making that commitment to do it a few months ago. And I think I'm probably a little bit more than halfway through the game now. My enjoyment of it isn't diminished because it came out 8 years ago or because I'm playing it on my slim model PS4. Hell, most of the time I'm actually playing on my laptop, which is definitely a worse looking way to play than on my TV. It's still the same amazing game it was 8 years ago, and an experience that can be had for a fraction of the cost of when it came out. It's made me realize that the best time to play a game is when you can afford it and have time to enjoy it. By the way, I'm thinking of doing a ranking for all the God of War games once I finish Ragnarok, which is thankfully available on the PS4 as well. Sons of Sparta is not, which might be a problem. They just had to release a new game while I was in the middle of a playthrough, didn't they? Look, if buying the new shiny thing makes you happy, do that. But if it's all too expensive, too overwhelming, there's always the previous generations to fall back on. The PS4, Xbox One, PS3, PS2, 360, all the retro systems out there. There are decades worth of incredible experiences just waiting to be discovered or even rediscovered by you. You didn't miss out, you're just playing them later. And as long as you're playing something you enjoy, who cares when you do it? Now, I have to get back to the mountain. Where is that boy?
Boy, 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 boy.